Hello all YouTubers, I'm the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning in to my presentation for December 13th, 2018. Today's video is going to be kind of a long-range outlook and the probability of a potential white Christmas, as we do have a very stormy pattern setting up. I will show you that on some of my maps. So thank you for tuning in. Let's get right to it for our presentation for today, December 13th, 2018. As always, please consider clicking the subscribe button here, liking, sharing, commenting on my videos. Again, some on the right, some other YouTube weather channels you can watch if you want to, if you like watching the weather. As you know, I did release my two-part video. I know I couldn't record longer than 2 minutes. So if you're one of those people that watched the part 1 and didn't watch the part 2, please watch the part 2 because that is part of the part 1 video. So let's get right to it. Thank you all for tuning back in. So these are basically the jet stream patterns for right now, 300 millibar heights and winds and not. So here you can see our low pressure system. If you want, I can draw it out. So we have our low pressure system sitting in central western Texas, and central western Texas can actually get some snow. It's going to be more like a mix of rain and snow. So how did this low pressure all come together? So we have our polar jet stream kind of doing something like this. It's going to take a big dip. And that's this storm is making its own cold air along with that jet stream. So we have that polar jet that takes a dip down into central and western Texas. And then we have kind of a subtropical jet kind of running like this. And they got pretty close to each other. If not, they probably met. And this is where our low pressure system formed. And it's been strengthening since. And if we look, this storm, it will continue to gain strength as we do go through time. If we go through 12 hours from now, we do see that the storm is moving onto the east and is gaining more strength. So the GFS model, and I want you to look at on the left side of your screen here, Gulf of Alaska. Just watch storm after storm after storm come in. And I said this in my previous video. If we can get potentially one of those storms to latch onto that jet stream, it could bring a lot of snow to the United States of America. And a white Christmas is possible. We do have a stormy pattern setting up potentially. It's not official. It's not really going to happen. We're not very certain yet, but you do see some snow. Delaware, Maryland, Jersey, Virginia for Christmas Day. There could be a storm, very well be a storm, that goes along the coast. We'll just have to wait and see. So our satellite, our colored satellite, shows, if you look back towards Texas, you can see this swirl of energy right there. Notice how this batch of moisture in Oklahoma, it's kind of moving to the west. And the batch of moisture right here in western Texas is just kind of staying still. This is where our low pressure system is. And this is how they form. They get that polar and subtropical jet stream to collide. They got that nice swirl in there. And the low pressure sitting right about here right now. That's about where our low pressure system is. And out ahead of it, oh my goodness gracious, there is a lot of moisture from Mexico, and it's feeding all the way up out ahead of the system. And that's kind of where your subtropical jet stream is. That brings a lot of that moisture. Not necessarily warm air, but cooler air. So here's our El Nino pattern taking shape. Warmer waters Central East Pacific, warmer waters Gulf of Alaska, resulting in that El Nino pattern. There is still an El Nino watch because of the very high probability of an El Nino pattern. Rainfall and snowfall for the next 2 days. Northern Maine could pick up an inch or 2 of snow. But along the Gulf Coast around Tallahassee and the coastal Carolinas could even pick up 3 to 5, even 6 inches of rain in the next 2 days. This storm's a very big rainmaker. And if you look at the little speckle in Texas around Abilene, could pick up 1 to 3 inches of snow in the next 2 days. But it's going to be like a rain to snow kind of event. So if the ground is still warm and wet, the snow doesn't have a chance to stick. Here's a good example. Winter Storm Riley last year. So it came up the coast. Take a state like Delaware, Pennsylvania, Jersey, for example. It was a lot of rain. It was like 70-mile-an-hour winds, and when it changed to snow, it couldn't stick because the ground was too warm and too wet. So we got to have the ground nice and cold, and ready for the snow to fall on it. So this is Texas, Interstate 20, Interstate 10. Here's Abilene, San Saba, Mason, Texas. This is where we have a winter weather advisory in effect by the National Weather Service. It was a winter storm watch, but has been downgraded about a dusting to 3 inches. It's in effect for all counties except Crockett, Sutton, and Kimball counties this afternoon through 6 a.m. on Friday, and there will be very high winds. Wind advisory are in effect for this whole entire viewing area. Northwesterly wind of 25 to 40. Gust highs 50 miles an hour. It could make temperatures feel several degrees colder than what they actually are. So if you look 2 miles northeast of San Angelo, Texas, around San Angelo, 39 this afternoon. Wintry mix and very windy. And at 32, windy wintry mix could change to some snow showers and rain and snow before it's all said and done. But temperatures throughout the day will feel like they're in the 20s because of that cold wind. I do have an announcement, and this is very good news if you are a snow lover that lives along the East Coast. Our North Atlantic oscillations have officially dropped into a negative phase today. I was so excited to see this. This does mean more cold air is enhanced, and we get those low pressure systems right along the jet stream, potentially enhancing that snow. What isn't negative, though, is the Arctic oscillation. But this is forecast to take a huge dip to around -2 or 3. And again, it's kind of similar to North Atlantic oscillation. It's going to drag in that colder air and those nor'easters to ride up the coast and bring a lot of cold and snow. So here's our El Nino forecast. So the red bars are the El Nino, gray is neutral, and blue is La Nina. Neutral and La Nina are not going to happen. Maybe as we head through the spring and summer, neutral pattern, but that's way too far out. La Nina chances do rise as we head closer to summer, but we're looking at the winter. 80 to 85% chance of El Nino. And this El Nino is a weak El Nino, which is very good news for snowbirds on the East Coast. But if you're in the Rockies and in the West, it's going to not be a good winter for you if you're a snow lover. But good if you're a snow hater. Me personally, I'm a snow lover, so I'm loving this here. So we have this climatological. This is a map outlook about how the sea surface temperatures are, and they're around a degree above average, maybe a degree and a half. So that's our weak El Nino that is in effect, that is going to help to enhance that cold and snow along the East Coast. So thank you for watching my weather presentation for today, December 13th, 2018. I dedicate this presentation to all the police officers and military crew that fight for our country. Thank you so much for serving us, and thank you for watching my weather presentation. I am the Weather Dude, signing off till next time.